Tune in and watch Lori and Amelia as they talk health and wellness, keep you in the know, highlight do-gooders in promo, and spill the tea in Never Have I Ever. And now it's time for the rundown.
Good morning, afternoon, whatever time of day it is for whoever's listening and watching. How are you?
So good.
Good. I feel like we have a lot to talk about. I feel like, we do this twice a month, but I feel like it's been months and months and months since we last talked. Do you feel that way?
I feel like I was just thinking, it feels like months. Because when this airs, it's in July, right? Or the end of this, it's crazy. I do feel like it's been months and months and there's so much going on. So yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it. For anyone that doesn't know, welcome to episode 88 of The Rundown. I'm Amelia Madl with Promo Corner. Promo Corner. It's going to be one of those days, dude. I told you all the background stuff going on. I'm Amelia Madl with Promo Corner, and you, of course, are Lori Bolton of Totally Bamboo. And we have an amazing sponsor. Our sponsor today is Pro Towels, and I got a little thing here. So Pro Towel is one of the largest towel and textile suppliers in the U.S., serving a wide range of products in the promotional products industry. They supply wholesale to fully customized products using various decoration services, including screen printing, sublimation, and embroidery. And shameless plug, but if you go back and watch last month's Model's Closet, they were featured and they had some really cool products. And I showcased dipping a towel into the pool. And when I pull it up, there's like the hidden, I call it the magical messaging behind it. So go check out that show as well.
Love it.
Thanks, Pro Towels. Go check them out at protowel.com. Whew. So Lori, what's new? How's it going?
So good. For those of you that have been following my little Pilates journey, a reminder, it's a 500-hour course. And do the math. That's a lot. So you've got certain segments, like you've got in-studio training, and then you've got observation hours, 100 observation, where you just sit and watch 100 classes and take notes. And then you have 100 of self-practice, if you will. So that's where you're taking 100 classes yourself. I am finally at the point, I turned in my anatomy book a couple of weeks ago. I have 10 classes I've taught already.
That's amazing, girl.
Yes, thank you. So I have a total of 110 that I need to teach before that's a lot. But again, I'm at the tail end of this little diggity thing here.
100 more to go. You can do it.
So I'm so close and I need to finish with this. I should be teaching, so I have anyhow, I'm so close. I have to be done and certified by the end of this year. Otherwise it expires. So I should be I hope to be certified by end of September. So
okay, well, good. I don't know how many days are left this year, but we're it's basically July. So, half the year. So if you take 364, divide it, for simple math, we'll just say 150 days left this year, and you have to teach 100 classes. That means you have to teach at least one class almost every day.
So I load up. I go early in the morning. Late at night and teach, and then I load up all day on Saturday. So I can get a good 7-8 classes in a week.
Okay, that helps. But Jesus, that's a lot of commitment. I told you pre-recording that I worked out for the first time, real workout in a month. So
yeah,
you're doing 8 in a week, and I'm like, woo! I got one real workout in this month.
It's so good though, but everything that I've learned up into this point, so the 400 hours leading up to this, it's okay, game on, right? People train for this. They, not just Pilates, but anything, whether they're competing or presenting, you train for it, you prepare for it. But it's different when you get up and you're actually doing it. And it's oh my gosh, is this contraindicated? And what muscle are we working? And so it's been really, really fun. I love it. one of the classes I taught this morning, I had 3 guys in it, which I love seeing men in Pilates because there's so many men that say, it's easy. I challenge you to come take a class. It's not easy.
No, and men are not typically as flexible as women.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of flexibility in movements in Pilates. So that's good. You need that. That's good for your body to help you age through the years.
So good. So there's nothing else going on in my life. Mark's been so good with me. He's like, what do I need to do to support you? He's so good. And I have to do this training in Prescott. I can't do it anywhere else. I have to do it under my master instructor, which is the studios here in Prescott. So it's not like I can float around different studios. It's very specific, and coached and feedback's given. But Mark's been amazing, and yeah, he popped in, surprised me last week with a ton of food and just trying to support me. And Amelia, do you see my face that looks like a baby's bum?
It's not red anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out up close and personal when I see you next month.
Yes, but it's all better.
I love it. Yes, Lori is not red anymore.
I'm not hiding.
And I'm not red either. Although I'm a little pissed off. You in this video, you look tanner than I do, and I just got back from Hawaii. Why are you freaking tanner than me?
I think it's the lighting, Amelia, to be honest. But you have to remember, I'm in the Arizona heat, and the UV index, I actually think it's stronger in Prescott than it is where Mark is. It's it's the UV index is. But I want to hear all about your trip.
Yeah, well, we'll keep it short or else this will be a very long episode. But yes, we were in Maui for a little over a week, had an amazing time, got to do so much as a family. And then, it's always nice having a boy and a girl. The boys went golfing some. Me and Addie went kayaking by ourselves. We did a lot of snorkeling. So I'll just quickly show a few pictures. So we went out on this catamaran/sailboat and did a lot of snorkeling. They had a photographer on the boat, which was amazing to get some good pictures. I did have my phone in a waterproof bag, so we took a lot of pictures ourselves. That's me and my daughter, if you can tell the difference. Pictures with snorkel equipment are not very flattering, but yeah, we had an amazing time, and we saw so many turtles, sea turtles everywhere. Like, if you've ever watched the movie Finding Nemo, it's literally like that. The turtles are so chill. Like, one, they were on the beach, so you weren't supposed to touch them there, but I would just be at the beach, just chilling on our own with the kids, boogie boarding and having our snorkel, and a wave would come in, and I'd look down, and I would back up real fast because there'd be a turtle 3 feet from me, and I was afraid it would run into me from the swell, and I would be like, "Oh, don't touch it! Get away! And then we'd stalk it and swim behind it with the snorkel stuff. But it was beautiful.
So
and a lot of travel.
No, it's because you're coming from so far. I mean, for me, it's like a 5. Now it's a little bit longer because I'm not in California, but it's like a 6-hour trip. So, yeah.
But we're talking 11 hours of travel, 5-hour time difference. Here we are, almost a week later, and I'm still my body still is not acclimated to getting up in the morning or going to bed early. It's
so crazy. So Amelia, you posted on Facebook, which I love, such beautiful pictures. And I just, before we started recording, I'm like, Amelia, you did not share with me, because normally you share some some personal stuff with me, not necessarily commando stuff, but you share stuff with me. But you in these pictures had ink, and I'm like, girl, you didn't tell me you got more ink. Normally you would share that with me. I was with you with your nose piercing in Vegas. Come on.
So I did not. I will. Let's see. I will show you now. That was not. This is still my ring. Those were. We went to a luau, and they had basically fake tattoos where they were stamps, and they rolled some paint on it, and you could pick. So me and my daughter got the matching flowers, and we messed with my husband. I told him it was permanent for 30 days, and he freaked out. But he slowly softened, and I had him almost talked into allowing my daughter and I to get matching tattoos. Not that I need permission, because let's face it, I do whatever I want. But he's anti-tattoo, and she's not 18. And so we were looking, and I'm still we'll see if she considers it, but we were looking at getting the hibiscus flowers, matching ones, on our foot or someplace. We didn't do it because we didn't decide on a picture that we both loved, because we wanted them to be matching. So we haven't done it, but there's still plenty of time. So maybe.
I love it. I love it. But when you were standing, I mean, such a gorgeous picture of you standing on that little like railing, and you're just so elegant and gorgeous. And I'm like, oh my God, she got more ink over there. Or maybe not, and I just don't know.
I didn't. And then I had to give my daughter photo credit. She was like, people are commenting on your picture and you did not give me credit. So I had to go back and edit it. And I also, I can't tell the full story because she said she'd kill me, but I will tell you yesterday I caught her listening to our podcast.
What? Which one?
The one from the time before. And I was like, I don't know if I like you listening to this. Sometimes it's adult content. And also I talk about you. And she's like, you can't talk about me. So here I am talking about her. I was like, then you shouldn't listen because I talk about you guys.
Right. Like enough, right?
Yeah, sorry. I gotta tell my life. I gotta keep it real. That's how I do it. So keeping it real, Lori, let's talk about your living with Lori. What do you got for us?
So I've shifted a little bit. I'm not talking about food or nutrition this time. I'm not talking about different foods that help cortisol. Let's talk about perspective is everything. So okay. I know. So if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I'll say that one more time. Okay. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. So shift your perspective and shape your reality. So discomfort is really growth. Problems, they're not problems, they're challenges. Rejection is redirection. Triggers are revealing wounds. Darkness reveals light. Failures, this word, and my therapist has helped me reframe this. It's not a failure, they're lessons. And that's so important because it's easier to say, like, I failed in doing this. I failed in doing this. No, this was a lesson and I learned and I moved on. Fears are teachers and pain is power. And this resonated with me this last week and wanted to share with everybody. I think sometimes we need that reminder of how we speak to ourselves. I think it's super important. Of how we speak to ourselves, because we can't rely on other people to feed that. We have to have that self-talk and that confidence and change our wording. And that just really resonated with me. So I'm going to send you guys into summer with those little tidbits.
I love it. And it is perspective. You don't, it's pessimist, optimist. Like if you're always looking at the negative things, then you're going to have negative vibes and, not be as happy a person sometimes. But if you see the benefits of it, I mean, talk to any successful business person and they tell you to fail. You're telling us to look at it differently, but you can't live or succeed until you've, failed at something. You can't just be like, I'm awesome all the time. I love the perspective. I wish there's a really good quote there's a really good quote from Martin Luther King. It has something to do like something about darkness and light. I'm going to butcher it, but it's in the same wavelength. I just can't remember the exact quote. You can't block out darkness with darkness. You need light, something along those lines. Sorry, I just butchered it.
No. And it's interesting because even with some of these words, and this is just a few words, but even when I'm coaching people and they'll want to say, these are my problems. And I say, they're not problems, they're opportunities actually. So you can keep telling yourself that they're problems and you're going to get stuck here, or you can look at it as some opportunities. And what are we going to do to maximize those opportunities? So again, it's just reframing and perspective. And it is so, 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 so powerful. So I challenge you all.
Love it. That's why I renamed that segment Lovin' with Lori instead of Living with Lori.
Yes. Lovin' with Lori.
One, because I have a tongue that just says whatever it wants. So
I love it.
No, but good stuff.
Thanks, girl.
Okay, Lori. Oh, wait, did you have something else?
No, I just said thank you. And it's all perspective.
It is perspective. And news perspective on a few movers and shakers. It depends on how you look at it. Are you going out and finding a new venture? Did you get fired? Don't say you got fired. Just say you have a new chapter in your life.
It's a new opportunity.
New opportunities. You never know. I always say things things happen for a reason. That's my perspective. So speaking of things happening, there are lots of movement in the industry. Do you have anything before I get started? I want to give you a chance because I always seem to have the majority of them.
No, you're so good, and I feel bad. I need to do better, but now my excuse is I'm doing Pilates. That's where all my free time is going.
So Lori, you need to reframe that and not have excuses. How do we turn that around?
So pathetic. So pathetic.
You're good. I just keep up with the industry news, and it's very easy to have stuff come right into my inbox. So, okay, let's get started. So, a couple, I don't know a lot of these people, so I'm going to save the one I know for last. So, Michael O'Neill has joined BAMCO as the Vice President of Enterprise Accounts. That's a big deal. Halo added Erin Kanata as VP of Marketing, and Tina R., her last name is spelled Ronafalvy, is the VP of Data Engineering and Analytics. Samantha Santo was recently promoted to VP of Product Development at Spector & Co., and that seems like a very fun job to me.
Yeah.
And our friends over at Greater Pacific, who are great and long-term sponsors of the show, recently added Scott Anderson as VP of Sales, and he came over from NC Chocolate. And then the big news, Lori, this is one you might actually know about. Howard from Gold Star recently departed. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, Howard Coverly is leaving his role as the Global General Manager for Gold Star. And Heather Smart with 2 T's is taking over as the global head of the firm. So that is really big news in the industry. How did you miss that, man? I was on vacation and I caught that.
I've been doing Pilates.
4 press releases. I was at Pilates.
Sorry.
Every time I don't hear from Lori, she'll be like, I'm at Pilates.
I only have 90 more hours as an excuse.
Oh, when those 90 hours are over, man, I'm gonna just keep you at it. Well, Lori, you are doing good by helping people with your coaching and Pilates, but do you have any do-gooders?
I don't. You're firing me, but hey, I had a good living with Lori, and I've been up to speed on movies now with you. Like I'm
yes.
Yeah.
If Lori keeps at her Pilates, I'm gonna have a job opening soon, and she's gonna be, if you know. Just kidding. I can never leave Lori.
No.
Lori can never leave me. We're a package.
No.
We're a
package.
Okay. Well, I have 2, and both great events and great companies. So the first one is American Solutions. They have an annual event, and they usually do some type of fundraiser or charity when they do those. And so recently they actually had their Accelerate event in my backyard, St. Louis, which I didn't get to go to, but they raised over $5,500 for the Ronald McDonald House charity in St. Louis, which is huge. And I'm very familiar with it. One of my great nieces actually is in New York right now, and she had her 3rd brain surgery, and so her family is staying at the Ronald McDonald House in New York until she gets released, because she literally had her skull cut into when she's 3.5, 4. So that's do-gooders. We appreciate it. There's a lot of families that need to use that, because staying at hotels when your children are in the hospital can get very expensive, and you need a little out of the hospital time. And the other one is something kind of near and dear to us, and something I will be at, Lori. Lori's teaching Pilates. She can't come to Women's Leadership.
Amelia, I'm sorry.
I'm just being honored today. But PPI has 3 events that have been officially certified carbon neutral by Climate Impact Partners. Wow. And that is the North American Leadership Conference, so NALC, Women's Leadership Conference, which I'm leaving for here in a few days, WLC, and the Product Responsibility Summit. So for anyone that's not familiar, they basically, the easy thing is at the hotel, there's no paper cups. Everything is glass. There's no bottled water. you use a glass. So nothing that is thrown in the trash. And then the other thing that they do is they kind of calculate where everybody is traveling from, and they look at the carbon footprint of your travel, and they find ways to offset that. Don't ask me any more about it, but I know it works in that manner.
I was like, so like this, and then you're like, don't ask me because I don't know. I know it's not where I can tell you your muscles, but I can tell you about carbon footprints, like how they offset.
But that's cool. So you always think about the basics, like you know,
Yes.
not using paper napkins, using cloth napkins, not using disposable cups. So those are the easy things. But the fact that they kind of look at a broad scale of where everybody's coming from and the footprint of, like, I'm flying from Kansas City to Nashville. There's people from Canada flying in, like how they offset that with recycling or what they're saving, gallons of water, drink, or I don't know. But very cool and good job. Love it.
So good. That makes me very happy, actually.
Yes. Don't ask me about my recycling habits. So thank you, PPAI, for carrying the torch for the rest of us slackers that don't have recycling readily available at their back door. Oh, okay. So those are our do-gooders. Yay, yay, yay. Lori, I'm going to put you up now because I've been talking a lot. What to watch? I have some cool stuff, but what do you have?
So, Mark was traveling this week, so I did take a break from building my library for Pilates, and it's on Apple TV, and it's called Presumed Innocent with Jake Gyllenhaal. So did I say it right? Gyllenhaal. Gyllenhaal, right? Gyllenhaal. And it's only 3 episodes have been released so far. It is so good, Amelia. So it's called Presumed Innocent. He's the lead. It's on Apple TV. There's 3 episodes. And the gist of it is he's an attorney, works for the government, and then he's got a colleague. He had an affair. And the lady who's also an attorney, she was found dead in her home. And his fingerprints were found. And he's arrested. Okay. Yeah.
I know that, but that is not Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes, it is.
I thought it was Joshua. He was in Dawson's Creek that plays the attorney. And he's married to Amanda Peet.
Yeah. You should Google it real quick.
Okay.
You Google it.
So okay.
You Google it real quick. So he's married. He has 2 kids. He had an affair earlier on in their marriage, but then he and his wife knows about it. He ended the affair, but then recently it picked back up again. She's found dead in her home, and his fingerprints are found when they do the investigation. He's like, well, that's because I was there at the time of the crime. Well, then I don't know if I'm telling too much.
Oh, okay. You were right. So is this the brand new one?
Yes. Yeah. It's so good. So good. So I watched all 3. And so I was telling Mark about it, and I'm going to have to catch him up because I watched this while he was on travel. And I was just like, oh my God, we have to watch this. And I came across it on accident because I don't know how to use his TV.
I don't have Apple right now, but now I want to subscribe again for that. There's another show on Apple that's very similar, and it's like a revamp on Basic Instinct, and it had I can't remember his last name right now, but it's Joshua, and he was like one of the originals from Dawson's Creek. People will know who I'm talking about. And Amanda Peet was in it. It was really good. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna have to
yes, you're gonna have to watch it.
Yeah. Okay, good job, Lori, and good job for knowing who was in the movie, even though I tried to tell you you're wrong, and I was wrong.
I did my homework this time, and like last time, I'm like, the cast is enormous, and I didn't have anybody written down, so I made sure, and I knew who it was. But it's so good, Amelia. So that's gonna be one of your binge watching.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to resubscribe. In the summertime, I try to like slim down how many subscriptions to programs we have because we're outside a lot. Like I'm not sitting in the house watching TV in the summer, so it's silly to pay for all those extra things when no one's watching TV. But
I know.
Okay, so one to actually watch on TV is on Netflix that my husband started watching and I got into it. It's not it's like I don't want to say even a reality show, but I guess it kind of is. But it's called King of Collectibles. So it's on Netflix, and it's a company that is basically a broker for sports memorabilia and pop culture memorabilia. And they act as a broker. So if you own something, say from your Nike days, you met tons of famous people. If you had anything that was like one of a kind or signed and you wanted to sell it, you would work with them as a broker, and they either auction it off, or they have like a portfolio of people that are looking for things. But the stuff that they sell and what things go for is really, really cool. So I got stuff. Yeah.
Why didn't I keep the Jordan shoes I had?
I know. I was going to ask you, like, you back in your Nike days, did you have really cool stuff that you've just like gotten rid of during moves and stuff that you made your regrets now?
Yeah, because I got all this stuff like a year before it hit, at least a year, because when you're filming, so like Forrest Gump, when you're filming, you're at least a year out. So Forrest Gump may not be the best example because that was stuff that was from an older time period that we recreated. But if you're doing something like a golf movie and you're taking Tiger Woods a polo that he's going to wear a year from now, I have that. I had that stuff because you want it in the film. So when the film airs, it coincides with when Tiger's wearing it to drive sales at retail.
Yeah.
So I had all that stuff, Amelia.
And listen, I think Forrest Gump is a great comparison because that movie is still popular. It was on TV the other day, and I actually stopped and watched it.
Did you see the Nike stuff?
Really long. Yeah, his shoes. Run, Forrest, run.
It's so great. In that movie, I have to say it's probably 25 plus years old because I'm going back and how old Lucas is and when I left, because that was the last project I worked on. That shoe, that Cortez, Amelia, was a dead SKU for Nike, but we brought it back because it fit the time period. And today it's in the top 5 of Nike SKUs now. Since that filming, it inspired people. To this day, it inspires people. And I don't care if you are 10 years old or 80 years old, you know that film.
Yep, that just goes to the power of branding and marketing.
Yeah, and product. Yes. And so now I still, to this day, I'm trying to look at people's feet and apparel and what they're wearing. And even in movies today, my eyes still trained to see what product placement's popping up. I did it for so long.
Very cool. Well, speaking of bringing it back to products and old movies and branding and iconic things, I saw this the other day and I was like, this is way too good to not bring up. So do you remember the movie Napoleon Dynamite? Did you ever watch that?
Yes.
Okay. So that is now, I want to say 30 years old. I can't believe that because that makes me feel really old, but I think that movie has been out for at least 20, if not 30 years. So recently, the potato company, Arita, partnered with the original actor of Napoleon Dynamite, and they did this really funny commercial and then created these tater top protecting pants. How hilarious is that?
That is hilarious.
So like for the, whatever it is, the 20 or 30 year anniversary, they actually have these pants and you can buy them. The top protecting pants that Napoleon Dynamite wore. And they did a commercial. And again, like I said, this movie is 20 or 30 years old. And the actor looks exactly like he did when he filmed it. I mean, I don't know how much makeup they had to do. They had the hair and the wig and everything. But I was like, he doesn't look like he aged a bit. Maybe just got a little bit taller.
He didn't age when he grew. If you get older, you're supposed to shrink.
I don't know, but he looked the exact same. Damn it, Tina. Eat your food, fatty llama.
I may need to watch this again. This might be a Saturday 5 o'clock get in bed with Mark movie. Because that's what we do
Uncle
now.
Rico. It's such a funny movie. And I don't know. I guess the humor changes. I try to make my kids watch all these old movies. I made them watch Goonies and they were like, no. And then I was like, okay, it's not as cool as it was when I was a kid, but it's still a classic. Watch these.
100%.
Get with it, kids. All right. Now that we're showing my age and maybe yours a little bit.
What?
I know you're still 24. You get younger. I get older.
I know that's what we do here.
Never have we ever. What have we never done, Lori? You come up with a question today.
Never have I ever lost my shoes during a night out.
Like come home without a shoe?
Sure, or both.
No, I've never lost a shoe during a night. Now, I have been known in my younger years, if I was dancing a lot, I would take my shoes off, even at a bar, which is really disgusting. I'm surprised I don't have scurvy or some other disease from dancing barefoot on the bar. But no, I've always come home with my shoes.
Me
have you
too, Amelia. Never have I lost a shoe. Ever. I can tell you there's been a couple times, and this is gross too, in Vegas where I'm wearing my big girl shoes and I'm walking from like restaurant to convention. This was my early days before I like got smart. And it was midnight coming home from like a client dinner, and I took my shoes off to walk through the lobby because I couldn't walk one more step. Like my feet would not.
Oh, I've done that. Yes, in the early years, I mean, I've been doing Vegas for over a dozen years, and in the early years, I would wear like 4-inch stiletto, skinny toe heels, and by the end of the night, I would take them off, and it looked like I was doing the walk of shame carrying my shoes.
But it's a matter of like, so I've gotten wiser. I will like pack some different pair of shoes to wear to a dinner or an event, and then change again on the way back because I can't do it. I just can't do it. But no, I never lost a pair of shoes.
If anybody listening has actually lost a pair of shoes, I would like to hear the reason and what you remember about it. I will tell you, we have an entertaining house and we have the pool and everything. There are times when I get up the next morning to clean up and there are clothes and shoes at my house. Now, I understand if you change into a swimsuit and you forget and you leave your clothes, but I still have at least 2 pairs of flip-flops in my house that nobody has claimed. So somebody left our house without their shoes.
That's weird, but maybe, who knows? Maybe they brought 2 pairs.
No. So if anybody's lost theirs, let me know. The worst I've done is, again, like you said, you carry your shoes around, or in my younger years, when you're doing the walk of shame the next day, you might carry your shoes as well as be wearing a club outfit when you get up at 8 in the morning and the sun is blinding you. But no, not lost my shoes.
No, nor have I.
Just done the walk of shame carrying the shoes.
I love it. That's good that you haven't lost. And if you do comment on this and you have lost your shoes, this is a judgment-free zone. This rundown is a judgment-free zone. We won't judge you if you've lost shoes.
Yeah, I'm just curious. At what point are you like, damn it, I only have 1 shoe on? Like, I always wonder, have you been in cities where you look up, normally it's more like inner cities, and there's a pair of shoes hanging over a telephone wire or something?
Yeah.
I'm like, where do you, and they're not like all wretched and have holes in them. No. Like they usually look like decent shoes. And I'm like, at what point do you decide, screw it, I'm going to take my shoes off and see if I can launch them on there. And then you're like, bye. I'm walking home shoes. Somebody please explain that to me. I don't get that either. There's a meaning behind it.
It's a movie, actually, Amelia, and I'll find the movie and I'll talk about it next podcast. But I think there's a movie and that's how that whole thing started.
Okay. I'm not throwing my shoes away. Sorry.
No.
Oh, okay. Good times as always, Lori. I knew we'd be chit-chatty. So shout out again to today's sponsor, Pro Towels. We appreciate you. And for over 35 years, they have been a premium provider for beach, golf, fitness, sports towels, and other textile items, including bath and kitchen accessories for over 50 industries. So head on over to protowels.com to learn more. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still tuned in, thank you for sticking with us as we go off the rails a little bit. Tell Lori some do-gooders or industry news so she has something to bring to the table and she can still keep doing Pilates.
I'm on it. I promise, Amelia. I'll find a do-gooder next time.
And then we'll have another new episode dropping on July 12th. So tune in then, and hopefully Lori and I see you guys out and about. We got a couple of events coming up. Summertime is busy, so hopefully Lori and I get to record in person at one of these.
Fingers crossed.
So you know the bubbles will be flowing.
Yes.
Show the plug.
Love it.
Bye.
Bye.